Oh, so we found tank straps. Ready?
Okay, yes.
Cool.
And I have some rubbers.
Nice.
I have some inserts. I have some 5/16 inserts and 5/16 inserts.
You need some hardware?
No, I have plenty of that boxes. I don't seem to have any of the 3/8 ones, but that's okay.
We have a box full of those in the back now. Maybe you can find more.
Yeah, these that are the 3/8 in it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I think these will be fine.
Well, the tank goes 5/16.
Exactly. Well, sometimes the 3/8 helps when they're not perfect.
Perfect.
Since I'm making it, it's gonna fit.
It's going to be perfect.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know about perfect. It's gonna fit.
Well, I think I am going to try. I'm going to go. I got the PM caliper in.
Okay.
I'm going to try to mount that. Get the bracket mounted. Get the wheel spacing and the rotor on, so I can get that established.
Sure.
Well, I'll tackle that first, and we'll go from there. Yep. Oh, and I'll bring the EFI to her.
You have that?
I'll grab it.
Okay.
Mikey, do you have a drifts anywhere?
Yeah, and
Big box, little box.
this. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
That'll work. A little overcompensating, but I can dig it.
Thanks, me too.
Yeah. Okay. This is always the fun with springers.
Yeah.
You always want to be in a little bit of a bind.
Always.
Found these cool rotors. These were on Ari's bike with his 9 spokes, but we ended up using those Gaffer performance rotors. So these, I think these will be nice and choppery
Yeah.
and free.
Yeah. Well, good.
Yeah, I think they'll be good. I got a rear one too, so
No.
we can have matchy match.
No.
Yeah, why not?
Grace, just slow you down anyway.
That's all they do, right?
Yeah, that's definitely all.
All right. Well, the wheel to be centered still wants to go more to the primary side of the bike. But the rotor is already hit the crown nut. I still want to go for it a little bit here. No, it's a factory wheel. It looks pretty centered to me. Yeah, it is. It's pretty centered. But of course, nothing's made for a springer, so
Yeah, it looks like there's a little more space here than here.
there is for sure. And I really need to go another, you know, eighth of
Also
an
for
inch.
primary weight.
If I put this rotor hole right in the way of it, say, it's pretty nuts right there. So I could, this is very little interference, so I could trim a little off the, I'm right there, but I could trim down the, crown nuts.
The back side of the nut.
sure, and that one too. We can trim them down a little bit. They don't have much, but these have shims in them too. See that?
Yeah.
So we're just gonna have to do everything we can to get clearance for me. We could trim a little off the crown too. The crown's pretty generous.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we could take probably half the crown off. And it would still work, and then that's not. If I take the crown ears off,
Should have enough.
I'm not messing with the integrity of the nut though either. So.
Yeah.
So.
And that cotter pin's real thin compared to the depth of that nut.
Yep. It's gonna be tight.
You can also sell mirrors.
Yeah, we'll try to avoid that in this building.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, I've seen enough of that on other bills. On a particular project. I love the blister pack packaging. It's usually stronger than the parts.
I noticed that myself.
I'm trying to remember if I've ever broke a part.
I've hurt myself before.
Yeah, me too. So that looks like it's going to set up nice. Wondered if I should just pull the wheel, just take a body grinder and grind down these nuts a little bit. Then I can clean them up later.
You can do that to get
Just to get my clearance, yeah, because I'm pretty tight. I'm gonna have that much though to the cotter hole.
the hole in the bolt is
Yeah.
far out.
Yeah.
We had that shim on the outside of the fork.
Yeah.
I just had the
I
bolt
do.
farther out,
Yeah.
the bolt closer in, right?
Yeah.
It's not like that shim is very small.
This one has a bushing in it. This one doesn't look like it does. Does it?
You might have one that doesn't have a
See,
crown
it's
on it.
got like a,
Yeah.
looks like a, this one does too. This one looks like it has one. It's just switching. Grab a thing of baby and a 3/4. Oh. Oh, that's tight. Here's the question. So what's under spring load right now?
It should be,
If I pop this, I can't pop this pivot nut out.
no, it should be under preload
Oh
already.
yeah, it is. It's definitely under preload. So I would just have to relieve it.
Yeah.
But I might be able to just push this out a little bit without taking all the spring load off of it. Precariously.
Got my safety glasses on. You do you.
Oh no, it came right out.
All right.
Yeah, that's weird. This one's got no bushing in it.
What?
This one has no bushing.
Oh. Oops. That makes all the sense in the world.
Must have been a Monday or a Friday for
I was just thinking that. It was Friday stuff.
Yep.
Weather the last couple days has been spot on.
Oh, dude, I went for a ride yesterday. It was gorgeous. So it might not be a shim or a bushing. I have to find the insert. It does feel soft for sure, like nylon or something. It's funny, it doesn't feel like it's under any load.
The other one might be holding it.
Yep, that's a good point.
Just a smidge
But
off.
that's the good news is I only need to service this one side. So.
Yay.
Yeah, it's got some kind of a bushing pressed into it.
It just doesn't have a surface on the side like the other ones do. That's a plastic bushing. But not in this one, huh?
Yeah, it does. Maybe it just seems like maybe.
Oh yeah, look at that. See, it got smashed a little bit. Yeah, there's a it's thin, but it's there.
Yeah, that's in there too. It's just doesn't have as big of a shoulder. Okay. This.
Oh, it's got the offset on the other side.
Yeah.
This one's almost flush here, and this one's almost flush here.
Yep. Hopefully that's right.
This
So-
actually came on this way.
Okay.
I don't know if that matters, but
I'm gonna
that's the way it
say.
came apart.
I'm gonna say no.
Wow.
Although one bolt is definitely shorter than one with the skinny beam. All right, so now we're going to create some clearance there. Clearance. Nope, optical illusion.
Illusion?
It's an illusion. Or we can put the whole wheel in on the mill and trim down the rotor landing.
Yeah, you call that.
That'd make life easy.
Yeah, that'd be
Yeah, I could take.
easy Haas thing to do.
Yeah.
You know how deep are
The problem
our
is,
holes?
I took that in. This would stick out.
Mm-hmm.
I have an issue with this, depending on how this sets everything up.
You are correct.
Check that. So what I have to do a little research, see where that caliper sets up.
Yeah, man.
That's what we're gonna do. It's easy, folks. Just bolt right together.
Yes.
Everything just lines right up.
What he said.
Yep. No modifications. This would not be what we call direct bolt-on. That's okay. I'm up for the challenge. This is when the customer would call and say, oh, I need to return all my stuff. Okay, it doesn't fit with my other. What'd you do with the instructions?
Oh, I threw him away with the packaging.
Hmm.
Sorry.
No, it's okay.
You can dig through the garbage and find it.
It's easy, they said. Anybody can do it.
Anybody with a degree.
That's interesting. That's not what I would.
Figure out what you can
Yeah. All kinds of fun problems.
do. Great. Anything you might need my direct?
What's that?
Anything you need from me directly?
I'm going to share it with you.
Okay.
So, good news is that the caliper's not centered over the rotor with the spacer supplied. So I can move the rotor in
I see that.
half that distance, center it on this piece, right? And I'm
closer
good.
to the spokes for that.
Well, yeah, that's the problem, right?
Mhm.
So now you can see where my clearance is. I've only got maybe 3/16 of an inch to the spoke, so I can't go in too far. So, but I could take, I'd be comfortable just leaving it there.
Mhm.
So then I would have to just move the rotor in. As long as I didn't move anything, I can move the rotor in just half of that distance.
Well, the caliper's gonna move in squarely when you do that too. Because right now it's being pushed out.
It does look like it's angled in.
So it's gonna wanna go in as this goes in.
The worst case I could also do, I could cut a small bevel on the back of this,
Yep.
right?
You could also take a hammer and bend every one of the spokes.
Now you're thinking.
See?
Yeah.
Outside the box.
You're thinking, yeah. The hammer always provides. So it definitely does, looking here, it definitely looks like it's in a bind, although it's funny, this moves, but I have to drag it. So it's definitely in a bind, you can see that. So, yeah, if I,
Break that loose. Yeah. I bet if you added an 1/8 inch or a little less down here, then.
well, problem with that is,
Well, I'm just saying that'll tell us how much this can move. To make this right here, while this is where it should be here.
sure, so, problem is that I get into that I'm trying to get clearance here too, remember?
I know.
Yeah, so, not for this, but for the rotor.
Yes.
So the crown nuts on each side for the rotor, so I have to bring the rotor in some, right? So I definitely have to take some off of that hub.
Yes.
So, but I'm thinking 1/8 of an inch is the number. Could even be a little less.
Yeah.
But if I went 1/8 of an inch, so I was a little on this side,
Mm-hmm.
because I could space this out, right? I could bring this out a little bit. That's no problem. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I would bring, if I was doing it, I'd bring this out.
Yeah, because I can.
Until this lines up right.
Right.
And then whatever you put in there is how much this rotor needs to move in.
Right. So
And then whatever issue that causes, we'll have to deal with that when it comes to it, right?
So obviously, as soon as I take that off, right, my line is going, right? But you're talking here,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Exactly.
Right. So, quite a bit. Look at the gap in there now. You just hold it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that inch.
That 1/8 inch, right?
Easy, yep. Now, hold on. That's not the case for it. Let me correct that again, because I've loosened the caliper.
Yep.
So I need to put the caliper back tight. Can you imagine some guy at home, he just bought all this stuff, right? He's sitting in his garage on the floor like I am,
Trying to put it together.
and he's just looking at this thing going,
It's just not right.
I still think it's about 1/8 of an inch.
That's what my eyeball told me.
What are you looking for, shims?
I have a small assortment of them here.
Oh, yeah, I've got some here too. I don't think I have anything 1/8 of an inch though.
Most of what I have here is 25 millimeter, but
You know, you put spacing.
it'll do our spacing, yeah. All right, well, I have a 150 right here.
Right? Let's try that.
We can slide that man jam in there and then see what it
See
does
where it
with the
takes us.
caliper on the rotor.
How I'm gonna put that on. This.
And these two together right here.
So I'm gonna slide this can. Oh yeah. The idea would be to take this and put it behind this. And then bring this on, slip it on that. I'll put my spacer, but not enough.
Okay. Let's try this one. See if you like it.
Good. I have a feeling I'm gonna have to cut like 6 things.
Oh, yes. If that's too much, we can have one of these thin shims for this 150 guy. But it'll be right around 200 because each of these is around 60. Right.
$200,000.
Looks like maybe like 190 might be here. It looks like it's a small.
But again, I'm not all torque generator. I'm just
And now that it's sitting on this,
I have
it looks
more.
like we got more space.
Definitely got
there.
more space there. So now I have to rethink this. So, okay, so if that centers it there. I've pulled the caliper bracket out this way. So the 200,000ths is what I would take off the hub
Mm-hmm.
to put it all back to what it was.
Yes.
To get pretty close.
And then this spacer can come out. The caliper bracket can go against the bearing like it was. The rotor can go against the flange like it is, but 200 in, and we should have this alignment.
Right, so the caliper bracket, so this spacer that I just preloaded,
Mm-hmm.
that spacer is what this pivots on.
Exactly.
It only pivots a little bit,
Yeah,
right?
we can leave-
Just with the
I
spring.
think we can leave the bearing where it's supposed to be.
Well, that's the idea. I do not want to move the bearings. I don't want to move the roller bearings. We just got all those set up.
Yeah.
So, but I can leave the bearing race where it's at, have Matt cut off 200,000ths off the hub, but leave the bearing race sticking out.
Yep.
So then what that'll do, bearing sits exactly, I just moved that in, that amount.
And then this and this will stay in the same position in relation to each other, but this space in here on the bearing will go away.
Correct.
So these two will move in together.
No, actually they won't, because this sits against the bearing,
Yes.
right? So the bearing's not gonna move. So this is
No,
gonna
but
be
you're
in
gonna
the
take
center.
that 200,000s out,
Yeah,
and then it'll go back against. the
sure,
bearing.
and then I'll
So-
move the rotor in, so it'll be similar to what it is now.
Exactly.
Right,
It'll move-
right. Yeah, that I agree. So then, I am moving the rotor out of the way of the crown nuts, and I am bringing the caliper in, back in closer, but still not hitting the spokes.
It should, it looks like it'll, what do we got? Right here?
Yeah,
Yeah,
almost
this,
where,
this guy right here,
subtract.
we're at 388, so if we take 150 out of that,
Still
we'll
got
still
a-
have
yeah, that's fine.
still
An
have
eighth of an
200,
inch is fine.
230 there.
It should be got a little flex.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
And again, if it ever had we talked about self-clearance,
Yes.
But then we could, I could
It's
always,
awesome, man.
I've put a bevel.
Yeah.
I bet if you went and looked at Tony's front wheel on Whitey, it's not on there right now, but I bet if we, I
We
bet
probably
if we
had
looked
to
at
do
his
that too,
caliper,
yeah.
I'll bet, I'm gonna go look real quick, I'll bet his caliper is better.
It doesn't look like we'll have to do that.
Okay. I think with that, it's time to eat. So now that I have my answer, at least my initial answer. And I still need to move the wheel over a little bit. Remember that too. Remember,
Well,
I still
If
need
we
to.
get 200
Right.
from here to the rotor, it does not need to move 200. You know, so if we get that 200 over
Right.
on the rotor, then we can move it to 50 or whatever it needs
I get it.
to be centered. And this rotor should be around 200, so if we take this off and center it wherever the flange is where the rotor will be later, right?
We lost it.
We set it up right now with the rotor in there
Right.
and put it in the middle. So if we center the wheel, the rotor's going to hit the ground nuts, right? But if we take the rotor off and center the wheel, the spacing won't change because we're not moving the bearings, but it will give us clearance because once we cut 200 off of here
Yeah.
and put the rotor back on, where the flange is now is where the rotor is going to be later.
I understand.
So then you can see how much clearance you can have without the rotor on.
Sure.
And if you can get the wheel centered without the rotor on, then we'll be able to do it later when the
Then it'll
rotor's
work.
on.
I understand. So you were suggesting another test. Got it.
Well, you want to put it in there and center the wheel, right?
Right.
Then that'll verify that what we're going to do is going to work.
That's what I'm going to do right now.
Yes.
Oh, hey, Mikey.
Yes, sir.
Somebody burnt the belt off of that.
Say what?
I said somebody burnt the belt off of that. Saying somebody burnt the belt off of it.
Yeah, I took the belt off this morning. I turned it on and the belt just went to the side of the machine.
It's funny how it just decides when it wants to do that, isn't it?
Exactly. It's been running perfect for the last week.
Yeah, it has a mind of its own.
And then this morning it said, nope, it's Saturday. I'm not doing it.
Yeah, I think it's barometric pressure or something.
So I didn't want to fuck with it, so I just took it off.
Got it.
I said, fine. You gonna be that way?
Yeah, because you can sit there all morning
Yeah.
tweaking that little adjuster.
Yeah, I could fuck with it for a half an hour to get it right, and then walk over there 20 minutes later and it'd be wrong again.
Right.
I even went and put the 80 grit belt on there
Yeah.
because it tracks way better than the 36 does. And that's why we tried to do it good for the last couple of weeks.
Oh, got it.
But it's just worn out on top there, man.
Yeah.
It's 20 years old or whatever.
Is it really?
Yeah? Well, I don't know about 20, maybe 15.
No, it could be 20. You've been in this building almost 30. You've had that as long as I can remember.
I think we got that when we started making handlebars.
So that would be 2005.
Okay, so we have 20.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's getting warm and it's so difficult to get it to line up anymore or stay there.
Yeah.
Find it funny too, you turn it off without the belt on there, it'll run for 8 minutes. It's got no restriction.
Yeah, let's go. Right now. That's just Springer science.
Yeah.
I'm looking at this thing how these rockers just splay outwards when they're not loaded.
They're mostly correct.
I don't even know if I have to go that far. I ain't gonna put an inclinometer on it, I'll guarantee you.
Once you fix it together, it'll be all right.
Yeah.
That's right. I think that's the premise they're working on.
Yeah. I got one of these for Troy for Steve.
Yeah.
Steve's he's building a Pantheon with the same Springer on it. And he was trying to put it together on a table and he was calling me saying, the axle is not square. And I'm like, make it so. He just got it kind of, you bolt it all together, everything
Yes.
pushes against the rockers, straightens it all out. So.
I guess that's the beauty part, is it's all under spring tension, so you can always put a little flex in the spring. And even though it's not a coiled spring, it's still.
Let's see what you want to do. Do me a favor, Mike.
Sure.
Eyeball this. It's not torque or anything, but all that spacing, to me, it looks great.
Spring in close.
Okay. So we'll go with for now.
Yeah, I'm sure it's going to move a smidge when you.
Yeah, when you
Torque
torque
it
it,
down.
everything, then it all looks great to you. Torque it, then it's like, no.
Just not right.
No, sorry. For my next question? Are you ready for my next question?
Sure.
Okay, so I'm centered. The difference is this shim right here, which I'm going to say is a 32nd of an inch.
10 or 15 thou.
Yeah. So we'll call that good.
Good. Look at that. That's great.
That's what I'm going to tell you.
It's not going to hit anyway, huh?
You don't have to cut anything off the hub. Look. So now I'm got plenty of clearance. See it?
Yeah.
I don't know why I have plenty of clearance.
I had to move the wheel this way. How did I get plenty of clearance?
Springer.
I was, what?
It's a Springer.
I was a quarter inch off. now I'm 3/16 positive. How is that possible?
I don't know.
Okay, so if that's the case,
Use your spacing. Put it all back together.
well, it's all,
I mean, with the rotor and the caliper and everything.
yeah, well, I mean, everything's
Give her a shot.
on, so this is gonna hit this, so I'm gonna have to put a notch in that so I can get it straight up and down, just because I have to have it. I can't have it mounted like that. I gotta have it straight up and down.
Easy.
So yeah, no big deal. But, so then looking at this is way, it needs to come out.
200.
Yeah.
So I suppose you didn't put that 200 back in here.
No,
You reassembled it. Yeah.
no, but I could now.
Yeah.
Then I'm gonna get into this. So I'd have to modify this too. I'm gonna get into that clearance.
Barely.
What it's gonna get into, it's gonna be,
Yeah.
right, I can't have it touching.
Yeah, we could take a little bit off.
So a little off the bottom of the Springer, but then I've got,
But then it's raw.
yeah, I don't want to.
Yeah.
I'd rather take something else. I'd rather put a little half a notch in here,
Yeah.
right? Because I
Just
only have to,
aluminum. We can
right,
polish
I
it
could just,
really easy.
I could just put a, when I'm, no big deal, right? But I'm gonna have to come, so maybe what I'll do is I'll just come all the way around the whole thing and do half of it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Not cut through the whole thing. So I'm not
Yeah, just a
affecting,
little
so I'm not affecting its strength.
It'd be like this.
Right. So if I came out with that, 200 thousandths, and I'm gonna guess this is 1/2 inch material. So I'm fine. And then I would put that 200,000 shim
On the inside.
on the inside for some reasonable effects. Then there's also, it's interesting that that's there.
Is that what that
Came
is?
with the kit. Well, grab your veneers, I'll bet that's 200 thousandths.
Yeah. 195.
You were saying, or maybe 190.
Yep.
So if I put that back there and then replace this spacer, right, with something a little thinner,
Yep.
that should get me really close. And other than me having to do this, which I think I should probably do now, although I could, yeah, I'm gonna have to clearance it just to even get it out there, because it looks, it sure looks like, yeah, it's gonna hit just barely. God.
Maybe if you take this out,
Oh,
pull that spacer out.
well, I have to go this way.
Yeah, if you pull this spacer out, then this will slide on the axle over and you'll be able to see.
Yeah, I can see what the interference is, but I mean, looking over here, it's barely. It's not much.
It's going to be just enough to scratch it.
Of course, I don't want it there. I want it up here,
Yeah.
so I have to take a.
And then the vertical arm part gets more in the way.
Because I'm almost vertical. Stand back. How close do you think I am? How far back do you think that needs to come?
On the very top of it, 1/4 inch maybe. So if you marked out 1/4 on the bottom, that should give us more than enough at the top.
So if that was notched out of there,
That should bring.
then I'd have to bring. Well, I have to give it some more material here, so I really have to come. I don't even need to come that high. And then did that same thing down here. We're saying we could just take an end mill and drag it through there, right?
Essentially, yeah.
I just need to come down to here. So I could have this same, whatever this is, let's say it's a 1/2 inch or whatever, 3/8. Just drag it and make that same 3/8 there. Should be fine, and then we'll do it. I'm gonna come out 200 thousandths.
Yeah. That
So
should
we'll go about that deep, right?
Yeah.
So that notch should give me everything I need.
And this has a 3/4 inch hole in it, or is there a spacer going?
No, there's a spacer in there. Yeah, this is a bushing. Just that there's a steel bushing like a top hat like this.
Yeah.
There's this rope that this, so when the anchor's
So
on it,
yeah.
just a little bit, right? It just would do that, right?
That way it's not
Right.
pinched in by the spacers.
That looks like it'll do it.
So I think the next thing to do would be to take this off, notch that, then put my
200 thousandths behind there.
Yep. And check
Reduce
fitment.
this and check it again. Okay. That's what I'll do.
Yay.
It's custom. That's what I need. Do. Before I do that, set up my spacing. Is it possible to hold this and take it down a little bit, or is it better to make it just make it?
We should be able to hold it. How much do you want to take off of it?
I needed 350.
It's like 500 right now.
Is this one is 415. And it's a little goes in. I have to wedge it in. I have to wedge it in there by a 1/16 of an inch or something.
Yeah.
Yep. See how many times I can drop this thing. That was 5 in a row.
Can't fall any farther than the ground though, man.
Yep. I just wanted to see how many times I can hit it. Interesting. Very interesting. Oh, that's just perfect. Same tension. All right, so I don't need shit. Now I wonder what my spacing looks like. Now watch it. Now watch. I won't have rotor clearance again.
You're just moving more over this way?
I didn't. I'm actually putting it. Well, we did. I did do this, right? But that's that extra 195 in there,
Yeah.
right? But that was to get the caliper centered over the rotor, right? Now watch again. Now right on it again. So there. So now I'm looking at machining the hub again. So, like to avoid. So the thing is that this has lots of flex in it.
That's why I was just spread the forks out.
Yeah, right? So taking the, so now I've got no tension on it right now. Do me a favor, give that jack 1/4 more turn so the wheel isn't touching the ground. It's just barely touching right now. Perfect.
I could do that.
And just put one here.
But is that putting you in a bind? You know, because it almost, depending on, you know, I could just do that with my hand, right?
Yeah.
Look at here, right? So
So it wants to relax out a little bit.
I don't know if it does or not. I mean, the wheel's off the ground now, but is it hanging on is it the tension of the axle that's holding? You know what I mean? Just the,
Yeah.
because I can make it even wider. See, it just, it's like I almost need to get it perfectly weightless. You know what I mean? But even then, it doesn't show us exactly, you know. I could take it all apart with nothing on it and measure the relax, but like I said, when I have it all apart, they
do
fucking
that, yeah.
spring out. Nature of the beast, huh? But I know I got the wheel centered. Right now, if I tighten it, both those spacers are the same size. Fit perfect.
I think you should leave the spacing on the right side alone, over here, and then put a shim in here on the outside. Pull that out just a little bit. Just give a little bit of clearance there.
Right.
And up here, it'll be, I don't know, half of what that is, maybe.
Well, I mean, right now it's, you know, if you push it out like that.
You should clear it.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at that.
Just not. I mean, I'd have to put this on and build it off, but I mean, I could grind that off. So you doing that? I just wanted to fall through, right? Yeah. But I need a little more than that. I can't have a 32nd of an inch.
Yeah.
But now everything's hard. It's not going to go anywhere.
If
But
we did a little bit of this and then shorten this
slightly.
to the crown nut.
Right. Well, I could take just a little bit off the backside,
Mm-hmm.
right, and then a little off the front side. That way, I'm not losing, because the hole in there is very towards the outside. The hole for the cotter.
No sweat. I got
You know what we did? I think we wiggled. Yeah, moving the front end. I think we wiggled it.
Maybe it's too close.
Maybe not.
I got the rear one done. Good.
Yeah.
I got the front one welded. I'm ready to be grounded.
Okay.
It's fitted. Then I should be able to put these guys in. Get this to be on the frame.
Look at that. Look at that angle.
Yep.
So that's what it is now. Oh my God. Yeah. So that's what we're in the middle of doing. So,
Are you guys gonna do anything with motors?
not sure yet.
Okay.
So we'll see as it comes along. So it's supposed to be on the cheap. So that's the whole.
Got it.
So
That's so
we're trying to use parts from around the shop.
Yeah.
And things we had. That's an old FXR wheel, and a friend of mine got me this Springer, and then I cut the frame and
Yeah.
raised everything up to make it a chopper. And obviously the fork controls are gonna go on. I'm gonna cut these off and make a rigid
Yeah, of course.
fender, and that's the tank. This is one of our old tanks has been laying around for years.
Yeah.
And we're just making the mount straps right now.
Oh man, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
So again, I don't know exactly the whole direction of it. It's kind of a work in progress. We'll keep
Yeah,
figuring it
of
out
course. You guys are gonna throw some parts at it and
as
take
we
them
go.
off.
Yeah, so we're trying to find. I'm trying not to buy much.
Yeah.
So we're trying to. Like I had to buy a front caliper because it has to be
course.
specialized for the Springer.
Okay.
But other than that, we're trying not to.
Try to not to put too much into it.
Well, let me make sure. So I mean, it's they cost money, but
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, the whole program is called Chopper on the Cheap. Yeah, I got you.
Perfect.
Okay.
Perfect.
Cool. Yeah. So yeah, if you go on YouTube,
Okay.
it's called Chopper on the Cheap. You can follow along.
Perfect. Yeah, I will now. Now I've seen it in person.
Pull the caliper off of it.
That's what I'm gonna do.
Pretty sure that those little pieces that I cut off the center are gonna work just fine.
Nice.
This one should go right there with no problem. It's blending long enough both sides. And then back here, it's like just a 1/4 inch. Do it back here. Of course. The post.
Yeah.
Waiting on me?
Imagine.
Slightly.
Waiting for the money shot.
Cut them out. See, it doesn't come all the way in here.
Yeah.
But again, it's
Yeah, you're gonna find. Yeah, that's just my fancy shirt.
there.
Yeah. There. Concur.
All right. So, are you ready for it?
Oh, I'm not done. Move the bottom.
Got a perfect over there.
Perfect.
You can just put it together right now and make sure.
I'll just make sure, because we'll repolish this and stuff when we're finally there.
Good magnet, huh?
Yeah. It is a good magnet. Now, just so you know, this is general. There's one on the ground that I put you in. And then there's this one.
All right.
Okay.
That's good to be.
Okay. Shit.
Was that close to my head?
I don't know.
Not really.
It's- I bumped it with my calf. It was your head.
Yeah.
What? You didn't break that down, did you?
No.
Okay.
That's a lot.
Oh, yeah, by a smidge. Just barely. I barely deep enough. I thought splitting it would be.
At least the positioning was good enough.
Yeah.
Just need to-
Everything else is great. Oh, that caliper. Boy, that sander's so quiet without that other thing on there, you'd almost forget it was running. Could be dangerous. Could be. What do you think I should do as far as shortening these crown nuts a little bit? Do you think I should, I don't know about spacing this thing into a bind.
Put it into a bind?
What are we talking about? Putting a spacer in there and pushing this out a little bit? But it seems like yeah, that's what I'm saying. I got nothing to grind off, and I got very little on top of that. I mean, I could get.
But then the bulkhead still sticks out.
Well, this I could, yeah. You could barely get it.
Suppose if necessary, we could always, if we break into that hole, we could always drill another one at another angle.
Yeah, you could.
Because the strength is all back here,
Sure,
not
sure.
on the end.
Well, that's just keeping it. That's just keeping it up.
Yeah, making it to where it doesn't come apart on
right,
you.
sure.
I don't know, I'd say clearance it what you need. You wanna,
Otherwise, it's I mean, pulling on this, right? It doesn't.
this seems to be right where it's relaxing, yeah?
Right. Well, just now I put the rotor back in, and where it was relaxing, it was touching. The rotor was touching. So, yeah. I don't know what the hell I did to get that clearance. That
The
one
extra
time.
room?
That one time we had it. Well, it's a mystery. Let me stand these up. Let's try this shit. There's no doubt about that. Again, the only other way to get around it is to turn the hub down. But Jesus, the amount of work that I'm going to have to do to get that thing plumbed in the mill, and then
Agreed.
yeah. Yeah. Didn't Jack just have that touch some of these people?
I know they can do it on Ari's private car.
No, that's not right. No, yeah, no. We had to make sure that was Scott Becker's wheel. We had to do that
Scott
too.
Becker.
Remember, we had got that replacement wheel, and they had changed the hub.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that shit didn't fit anymore.
This one is more in the way, is that correct?
The front one? The forward one?
No, this one.
Yeah, it sticks out because it's. Yeah, it sticks in farther. That's why it's it's shallower.
Well, this one
Yeah.
you have a little. Looks like you have a little more to take off on this one before you reach the hole.
Right. Yeah, it bothers me a little bit that I'm playing with these, 30 seconds of an inch kind of thing.
Yeah, it's
I mean, you gotta do what you do. You gotta do what you gotta do.
yeah.
mean, even just,
See what happens.
You have all the spacing for this side worked out.
yeah, the other thing I could do is I could leave this out and have the wheel slightly offset,
Good.
but I'd rather not.
That's better if it's in the middle,
Of course.
for sure. There is a little bit to take off the bolt head or the threads and the bolt there,
Right.
but not a lot. I would start there and then see where that gets there. See if something else needs to be done. I don't know, short of cutting drilling a new hole in the bolt or spreading the forks out a little bit, I'm not sure that there's another option.
Well, you know, you just got to weigh your options, right, and decide which ones.
There probably is, I'm just not thinking about it.
Which one's least worst?
Yes. Which one's easiest and which one keeps it?
God, busted fucker. How come every time something falls, you drop a bolt or a washer or something, it has to inevitably, it's like God's rule, it has to hit the top of your foot and then launch
What else would it do?
under the most difficult to reach area imaginable. Interesting. So the way this pivots on that bushing, it allows it to move. You understand? Now that it's not in a bind, unless I put something, unless that's sticking out just ever so slightly, and it needs something to retain it, but there's nothing holding it on that bushing unless you have something on the outside, right? Weird.
Maybe a larger diameter spacer.
That's what I'm saying, but then, so then what I'm asking is that hat that's sitting in there, is it sticking out, 20 thousandths or something like that? 10 thousandths? No, it doesn't, does it? No.
No, it's not catching on it.
Yeah. So it sounds like you're just gonna lock it down, right? Doesn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah, because that's not difficult to do.
Right. So now,
Yeah.
clearance here. I got
That'll do it.
fucking 1/16 of an inch. So I mean, I could grind it down a little bit. We could just take
Yeah, take
You
the
know,
taper off the head.
the 16th off the back of that head,
Mhm.
of that bolt, maybe a little bit off of the.
I think
front
if
of the nut.
I think the nut clearance is
Yeah.
pretty good.
Just the bolt
Just that
needs to
little
come
bit
down
of
a
the
little.
bolt
I could just take
Yeah.
I could tighten all this and then just hit it with a
The grinder.
DA and just take it off. Yeah. So now this is fine. The clearance here is fine.
Yeah, we're almost straight up.
I have to make sure when this suspends that it's not pushing, that this isn't pivoting forward to touch that. If it is, I'll take a little more off.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, we might have to go in.
Yeah, do a
in
little.
this pocket here.
Sure, and we could
Take
easily
some
do
more.
that. What, grab a Sharpie. You have a Sharpie in your pocket? I'm just going to mark that spot in case we need to do that. That would be your relief right there.
Mhm. Yeah, and it might have to go down that way, but I don't know why.
No, it's just a matter of, so if you topped out, it would, but the rod here would be pushing it,
Yeah.
right?
So
And
as,
if you suspended,
As this went up, it would go back, it would pull back. So you probably do want to give yourself that clearance. There's no big deal. You can just take the mill you got and plunge it right in there. How am I? My centering's getting there, so I'm centered on this.
On the rotor.
Well, this bracket is in the dead center of the rotor, so if you look at it, it's centered right over the rotor.
Yeah. That's where we want
So
that.
that's working. So then all I got to do now is figure out.
Linkage and how to not let it slide.
And then
out.
this is touching the bottom of that fork to the radius of that
Yeah.
bracket.
You know what we could do, Paul, is this spacer, make it with a small shoulder that's only the diameter of this, like the opposite. Like, so if it's this diameter, it's larger, and then on the inside it steps out another 15 thousandths or whatever, then it can touch that little top hat that it's riding on,
I understand,
compress
but not
be touching
but
the
not be
bracket.
touching that, right?
And then it can't move out more than
It almost seems like we'd be
10
better.
or something.
We also could, if we wanted to, after we plunge that, we could face 10 thousandths off of the bracket down there. And that would allow the
And
spacer
then
to
just
stick
make a
out.
larger diameter spacer.
Then if you put this in here, if you took, a little bit off of this and used it as your spacer,
That would do it.
should.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Bar ready to get out of here.
It's certainly, time is certainly flying, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It's Connor's birthday today.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
That sucks.
He's 16 today. Yeah, fuck, I got Connor 2 days after Christmas and then...
Yeah, I'm just saying, and for him too, like me, like mine's on the 16th. December, people get fucking ripped off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. We try hard not to, but fuck, Christmas is expensive, Thanksgiving's
Uh-huh.
expensive. Then you have to have a fucking birthday in there too, man. Come on.
Well, something we just don't get to pick and choose, do we?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that... Yeah, I got the upright on this front mount,
Yeah.
and it's gonna work good there. I just have to shorten it
Got it?
to where it goes up there where it's supposed
Nice,
to.
nice.
And then that one will be done.
Okay.
And then I have another one of these pieces that we start fitting back there,
Okay.
and well, it slid back a little bit, so well, that works out all right. With that rear mount on, it touches the engine mount right.
Right, we're at no kidding. Well, you have an extra spot to weld to.
Yeah,
Actually, it's funny. You could tack it on there
good.
and then build your bracket right into it. It's like self-locating. How nice would that be? Just get the tank level and everything, and
Yeah, I could
it'll
do-
dictate
I
it.
could finish this one up.
Yeah.
Get this one tacked on, tack this one on, then I can take the tank off.
Yeah, and just build your bracket right into it.
Do the rest of it. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. All right.
Real quick and see what's on the outside of that. Outside of this. Has the 190 spacer that we put on the inside the center of the caliper. That's what's on the outside of his. So he's got the hat in there. He's got the hat in there, and then that spacer's on the other, and then there's a little rubber pad that's going to hold it in place.
So this caliper moves too. They change.
Oh, that's yeah, free.
So you have the 190 base space. Yes.
Right, that.
That too.
You do like a wheelie. All right. I think what I'm going to do.
Did you touch anything on that bike? There's anti-seize on it. Just,
I didn't touch anything. I just shined my flashlight on it. You're the one who had to stick your finger in there.
I know. I fucking just like a kid. I gotta touch it. I just wanted to tell you before you went to
I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna leave everything set up just the way it is and turn it all off.
Sure.
I think we'll come in first thing Monday morning. I'll meet you here early and we'll pick up and we'll do maybe an hour or two just so we can finish this.
Yeah.
So I can send it to Jai
Mhm.
and we'll have that week's worth. We'll just get that mount
Yeah,
on
the front mount done.
and then I'll get this set up, done,
I like it.
and then we'll take it out of here again, and then we'll continue on our week. So we'll just give it a couple hours on Monday, so we're not. Otherwise, I'm unfinished. So
Yeah, and he's gonna want content.
yeah, cool.
I can dig it.
All right.
Just go do that or you want to document?
No, it's on. We're filming. Yeah, I can grab something. I can grab something and come put it up there. You're all good.
Okay. I'm gonna go do that first. Then I'm gonna
Or you know what you could do?
get a tank out.
You could go do that first.
Hey, just think.
Just say it.
Why you're the boss?
Yeah. Or something like that.
That's why we let you think you're the boss.
That's right. You guys are very kind. Check that.
Go, sir.
Thank you, sir.
You can look at from down there.
Just see if I'm looking up at the tank.
You are. Yep, can't see the bars, but you can see the tank. Nice and pretty, perfect.
Yeah, that's exactly what we want. So then it's showing you in there doing what you're doing.
Right. Yep.
Yeah. I think I'm good there. There's my hat. Cut down linkage. Move forward. Look at that.
Hey, all right.
It's floating. How about that? That's gonna cause a problem.
Yeah.
5/16 heim, 3/8 hole.
How do we do that?
Hmm?
How do we do that?
Well, we didn't do it. The product comes with. I think we're okay.
Now notch give us enough clearance and everything?
I think, well, it's there's plenty of room to the castle bolts. And everything's not torqued, so when it torques, it'll actually get even a little more room. As this rocker comes up, this is going to move away from that notch.
Yep.
Right?
It's gonna do this.
Up. It's going to go up and back on an angle, so it's going to move away from it. So I don't need further clearancing there for suspension.
I agree.
I am going to have to find a heim, a 3/8 heim that fits on this and this rod, or create a new rod or something, because that's or time serve to hole in the springer, which would be a pain in the ass, so, to reduce the thread size.
Yep.
But other than that, and then I've got slightly at 450. I added a teeny bit to that when I asked you to cut it down to give me a little more clearance there.
Mm-hmm.
So these are my 2 equal spacers here that I was doing my fork spacing with. Here, I'll show you.
Oh, for
So
here?
this one, right? So this one still goes in with a little tension, and this one's about a 1/16, maybe slightly more loose. So before I had it like this,
Yeah, I remember that.
which probably still isn't going to create tension, but this would. That's probably
What?
Yeah, that does. So that's the difference.
Without more modifications down here.
Well, I'm just dealing with clearances and stuff. I mean, it's nothing you're ever going to feel on handling, right? And the rear wheel's offset to the.
To the primary side.
Actually not. Look at that. If you go back and look at it, it's actually offset, my opinion. It looks like the drivetrain and everything's offset a little bit to the carb side to compensate for the primary weight.
I'll agree with you on that.
Would you agree with that? Yeah, look at the horn on the strut stuff,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, yeah.
Which we're going to cut those off anyway, but hopefully in a short week this week we see our Fender. That would be great.
That would be great.
Yeah. So where are you getting here?
I have this fitted now,
Right?
so it's welded on here all the way.
Oh, beautiful.
It's fitting here.
Thanks, Mark. Great.
Touching the bar all the way across
Yeah.
there. Got a gap up there. Once it's mounted, we're gonna want to clearance the frame some, so it's.
Oh, which we
Not
can do that. We
touching.
got tons of.
Yeah, once it's mounted though, because
No, it was nice. It's nice to have that leave it centered.
exactly, it's holding
Yeah.
it right where it should be
Yeah.
right now.
Straight. Make sure it's straight. It looks like the bike's on a jack, so I assume it's straight.
This side's high, right?
No. Yeah. That right there.
Yeah, that's what I see.
Right there. Straps look really good to the cradle rails.
Yeah.
Here, we got it. Here, look there. Look at that. Yeah, I mean that looks pretty dang square to me.
Yeah. It's just on that.
Solid 3/8 of an inch.
Yep.
Yep. And then when, like I said, when we put something in there to protect the frame, it's even gonna get a little less. Yeah. When we put a button in or whatever we put in there.
Yeah, nothing's gonna be here, so it's
No,
probably
it's
perfect.
Well, good. And it's funny, people online were complaining about us using the square backbone.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, that's what came from Harley. It fit the frame perfectly, and it completely disappears.
Yeah.
You can't see any of it.
If we were Frisco mounting a little tiny tank.
Yeah,
you
sure.
could backbone it
Yeah.
tiny,
But even plus with the cross member underneath, you can't even see in the tunnel if you bent over to look at it. So
Exactly.
yeah, I don't get the.
Yeah.
But I guess people just want to have something to. People keep forgetting. You know what you should do?
They keep forgetting we're trying to do a straightforward, budget-minded kind of garage-built chopper. And they're, you know, talking about all this complicated stuff, and they're also not here seeing that we're dealing with fuel injection. That I got a lot of stuff that I got to deal with.
Yeah, and the smaller backbone gives more space up there for all the wiring.
For sure. You know, do you remember once, I don't know if they're still laying around or if just in our travels they got thrown away, we had like a black powder coated set of like little Z-bars.
I have a raw set.
Like they're small ones? Like not
Chopper
not sport bars.
No, chopper more. Jeez. Some lollipops on there.
That might be really cool. Consider those. Yeah, I had a set of black ones. I want to say they came off of Brian Adams' old bike. They were black powder coated. I eventually brought them here, but I had them laying in my garage for years.
I haven't seen black powder.
Yeah, I think remember when I built Rex's chopper at my old townhouse, and he built me that pergola out behind the house while I was building him a chopper in my garage.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the trade, the barter, and I thought I brought those bars home to see if he had a black and silver flame chopper. We ended up
See if
building
it would
for
work.
and yeah, we just see if it would work.
Well, that's the only set I've seen here
Yeah.
in a long, long time.
Well, God, wouldn't it be cool if we could find a set of Alibaba risers? I don't think that's going to be possible.
I might have a close to one set.
Really?
I think I have the clamp parts,
Huh.
but I don't think I have the pointy point that goes
Right.
on top.
Those are the best. Yeah,
That's-
that would look cool with these.
I had a set that I was using for mock-up and machining purposes.
Got it. Well, and this little trickery that Paco's got here, so you can bolt handlebars on it. It possibly could be put here, depending on how close
Is
it
it
was.
180?
This might touch, but even because then you can move your handlebars back. But I think just straight risers out of here,
That would work
you
too.
just spin on.
Yeah, this just adapts to
One
3.5.
thing, yeah, we just need a bolt to go straight through them. Well, the knurling would be 4 3/4 on the Springer, which doesn't really matter.
Yeah, those lollipops
This-
are really wide too.
But these don't have knurling, so we can figure out a way to pin them.
Yeah.
You know, and it's interesting.
Are we still happy with this thing? Did we move it?
I didn't touch
You wanna look
I
at it?
didn't touch anything, but I'll look at it in a minute if you want before you go. Before you pull the trigger. It's pretty dang on this dude. I don't, yeah.
We didn't move it.
Huh?
We didn't move it. I just
No.
wanted one more.
Take one more.
eyeball.
Make sure that we don't want to tap that a 1/16 of an inch. What do you think? From back here, I don't think so.
Now, overall, looks great.
Looks good to the risers.
Yeah.
Looks good to the backbone. It's centered back here. It's back here. It's centered side to side. Yeah, I think it's good.
Good.
You want me to hold it? Make sure it doesn't draw.
Where I'm welded, it shouldn't go left to right. More what I wanted it to do.
Give me 1 sec. One teeny short second. Everybody slapping. Even though I think we're going to plate them.
Yeah.
Get it?
Yep.
Nice. Where did that place your rear? How did your rear set up?
That's fine.
Oh, you're right there, dude.
Yeah.
That's great. Let's pull
And
on
when I
this.
had it pushed against the mount, it was covering that line a little bit.
Even that was fucking the tunnel. It's pretty centered. So.
We'll start making the rear one now.
I'm gonna pull the FYI wiring out of there.
Oh,
You got it bolted on the back?
yeah. Never come out. Not too shabby.
All good. Considering your limited access.
So now I can make it more not going anywhere.
Progress.
Morning, Jack.
Morning, Mike.
There's like 4 cameras in here filming it right now, just so you know.
Hi.
I know how much you love that.
Yep. Well, have a good day.
How was your Christmas?
Great.
Good.
Have a great New Year.
There's cameras all over it here recording right now. Just letting you know.
Oh.
Not saying you have to do or any, undo anything.
Disclaimer.
Yes.
Well, I won't flap.
Yeah, let's not do that. Yeah. Okay. There we go for Randy's.
You having fun?
Oh yeah.
Isn't that the best one?
It's pretty good.
I love the way it rolls. Little inline. Fine.
You plan on pulling the whole drivetrain out of here?
No, the whole point, we're praying that the whole point is we never have to open the drivetrain. That's the idea. had another thought
Oh,
on this mount here. If I made a 3/8 threaded insert that had a 5/16 threaded stud stuck in, where I could just screw it in there and then slip the heim joint over it and put a nut on the other side.
you know the front engine mount on the M8 is 3/8. So they make heim joints with 3/8.
Oh, I know. I got Joe looking for a heim joint that's 5/16 on 5/16 24 with a 3/8 through.
Yeah, 5/16 24 here.
Right.
Yeah.
3/8 there. He's looking to see what's available. I'm sure it exists, but
Oh, yeah.
I'm just thinking of easy. You know, what if I took a piece of all thread that was 3/8, turned it down where the threads are, and then threaded it and made a 5/16 capture. Yeah, then I could do that.
Yeah. Then put a little acorn on it or something.
Yeah. There's plenty of room in there. So
Yeah.
So that wouldn't be too bad of a solution.
That's not a bad solution. No.
Not watching.
Staring right at it.
That's my Christmas present to you, bud.
I want to see stars.
Oh, it's not bad. You ever had welding burn?
Oh yeah.
Oh, you only do that once.
Welding burns. You wanted to wait to attach the final bung on the motor vent?
I was going to do that right now.
Okay.
I wanted to wait till the motor lights were off. That's all lit off now.
Okay. That's what I was inquiring about.
Yes.
What was your last, remind me of the last thing you were waiting for?
It's coming together. Can you? Are you physically capable of moving it? Yeah, absolutely. It's yeah.
I assume that this die hard is yours, right?
What?
1-inch die hard extended socket.
Die hard? I don't believe I have a 1-inch socket.
It's pretty good.
There's one on the ratchet for the.
I was just using it for the axle. That's what I was using on the front axle.
Well, that's right, yours then.
I'll find out what I say from the box. No, there's nothing like this in your box. That's why I was asking. My question was, where did I get it?
Yeah, you do. So, front one's about cool enough to put the rubbers in.
No, it's white glory.
The back one is due, and we can.
Well, I think what we'll talk about next is I think what's going to go on next is we're going to kind of hold the bottom of it, put a EFI door in, right?
Yeah, that's the next step.
So, being that it's 8 o'clock on Monday and we got stuff to do, I'm thinking what we'll do is we'll put the tank on this, and then I'll probably take this thing back next door, and I'll do other stuff to it. I'll finish anchoring the caliper. I'll make some riser and handlebar decisions. I could play around with pipes. I could drain the primary and take the primary off when the Fender comes in. I got plenty I can do, and I think we'll do the EFI door. I think we'll wait for the EFI stuff to come in.
Yeah.
Just to make absolutely sure that we're putting it in the right place. And
I
no
agree with
hurry.
that.
It's not like we're firing this bike and we need to have it in. So and then with the tank on too, I can start working on electrical placement.
Yes, you
So
can.
there's plenty I can do. So I think we'll stop, and then we can get into Harlan's fairing and
I had
Butch's kickstand or whatever.
I had
else.
taken the fairing off so I could do the support brace,
Right.
and that's where I was when I stopped working on that. Oh, look at that.
Beautiful. Cool. Working out great.
Yeah. Made some choppers or what?
Yeah. I'm sure we'll get all kinds of people.
Why didn't you flush mount the tank mounts?
We use everything is.
No, it's just because the tank was already set up for this, and it takes a lot to do that. And when the bike's on the ground, you're not even gonna see it.
In my opinion, it makes a whole bunch of space here. Big open space.
Right.
I like the flush mounted tanks when the backbone's not so high up.
Right. I got you.
Personally.
I think it's working out just groovy. I'm happy about it.
I think so too. Yeah, that's still kind of warm.
They're going.
Yes, this is warm.
Got it. I am gonna take this, set it up next door for the transition.
Right.
Sounds solid.
Pretty good.
It's a little more choppery all the time. Yeah. All right, well, I'm gonna put it down and
Yeah, this is all hold back together.
take it next door. It's all good. We got front wheels on it. And the anchors is taped on to hold it in place. It's fine. The bolt in there. And I think we're good. We can put her down on her wheels.
Ready?
Yep. Well, look, we can even test our theory of the rocker loading up and see what it does. Wait, do that again?
Why?
Yeah, it actually got it, dropped it quite a bit. But at least we know now we have full top out travel.
Yeah,
So if we want, when we take it off, when I have it off next time, maybe we'll add a little bit to that. Just, quarter inch or something, just so we have full down travel too. And we should be good. Yeah, it's an eighth of an inch, but when you move it, it's not getting any closer.
Yeah, and you already have a line.
Yeah, so
Down there.
that's exactly what we'll do it. Yeah.
Hey, boss. Can I get this spike plan?
Sure.
Oh, wait, what is it?
Sure. What a concept. Oh, I put it here. I'm like, I did too. I had it here so I made it front end up again. Nope. Sounded like neutral. Has its own sound.
Good. You got it right hand. All the way up front, leave it all the way.
Solid. Oh.
Right. Got your phone up here, it's on the black
Thank
card
you.
over there.
So it's been a good week on the Law Tigers chopper on the cheap build. Mikey and I came in this Saturday. My challenge was to install this performance machine caliper. This is a kit that's specifically made for springers, but using an FXR narrow wheel and the PM Springer kit and a narrow Paco Springer, clearances were super tight. So there's crown nuts on the inside of here that were super close to the rotor. The front girder was contacting the caliper bracket, so I had to machine a notch in it and make some wheel spacers and typical, setup stuff. So the wheel is now centered, the caliper is clearanced and properly mounted. I've got to create a bolt for the anchor system, but that, that's no big deal. But so the front Springer brake is basically done, and we can move on from that. So moving forward, while I was messing around with the front wheel spacing and messing around with the caliper, Mikey had gone in our archives and found some scraps of some old tank mounts. This tank that we pulled from our archives already had a mounts welded in it from one of our old frames. We used to sell roller kits where you could buy one of our Pro Street or chopper frames, and it already had the mounts mounted on the frame, and you'd buy one of our tanks and it just bolted right on. So we found some old remnants of that. We refurbished them and made them fit this tank, got the stanchions put in, so we got all of that fit, welded in. Tank is now mounted exactly where it's going to be. Super excited about that. We finalized the upper motor mount. This is one of our old, it's called the mount. We used to use these on our choppers. We would drill a hole in them and put a key switch in them, and then we had a plate that sat on the back and it would hold your coil, and they even sometimes would have a push button for your start and a toggle switch for on off, all hidden behind the mount. So we did a whole lot of jobs on this one upper motor mount, which was a really cool looking part. It hid a lot of stuff. What I wanted to use it for, and I was glad we had one left over, at least we found all the pieces, is what it's going to do for me is I'm not going to put the coil behind it. The coil is probably going to stay here. But the nice thing is it hides all of the fuel injection stuff. There's injectors and connectors and wire connections and the fuel inlet tube and all that stuff is behind this. So that really helps hide the fuel injection. So now that I've got the cross member welded in here, the tank's mounted, the backbone's basically disappeared. I've got some cleanup work to do here where I welded all this together. So I'll get to that probably when I have the rocker box off to exchange it. The whole idea is to try to leave the drivetrain in the frame, never take it out. So we'll see if we can accomplish that or not. But now what I'm going to get to is now I can start working on all of my fuel injection wires. So I've got to take all of this mess and I've got to
run it up here. There's not really enough room. The tunnel on the tank gets pretty tight to the square backbone here, so I can't just here. It's wide enough that I can go up in there, but over here I can't. So I'm going to try to reduce this down. I'm going to cut this sheathing off. I'm going to reduce all these wires down and try to get them real tight where they go up over the bottom tank mount, and then they can start hiding up in the tunnel. That's one of the reasons I was so happy we chose this tank, is because behind this tank, in the tunnel of the tank, is a bunch of room where I can hide some of this stuff, right? So I've got connections that go to the fuel injection. I've got connections that are going to come up out the tunnel of the tank, and they're going to go up into the handlebars because we're planning on running the stock switch housings. These are all fuel injection connections that I'll bring up the other side of the tank. So we always like to, when we're building custom bikes, try to eliminate as much wiring as we can and unnecessary stuff. There's a few things on here like the runoff switch and stuff that I won't be using. The stock Softail had a tank mounted one. This I'll run down to an on-off toggle, probably back. I'll hide it behind this, where you'll just click the bike on and then you'll push the button on the handlebar and that'll start and shut off the bike. So, but I've got some sensors that I've still got to hook up and stuff. So we'll get all this stuff run. Then I'm going to pull the primary. The folks over at Belt Drives Limited, BDL, were nice enough. They saw that we were doing this bike and said, it's a chopper, man. It's got to have one of our belt drives on it. And we totally agreed. So BDL sent us a belt drive. It's on the way here. So I'm going to pull the primary, get all that cleaned up. It'll also give me access to more of underneath the frame and everything that's behind here. So I can get in and do some degreasing, try to get all this. At some point, I'm going to degrease this whole thing and do a power wash on it and try to get all the old grease off and stuff. And then whatever motor stains and finished stuff, then I'll restore that. And we'll go from there. So I'm going to be working on that. One of the coolest things I did, I was at a swap meet last week and I found a set of badass, I think they're J-brake forward controls that use the stock mounts, but the arm and everything uses the stock master cylinder. These things are in killer shape, bitch and forward controls. They bolt right on the stock kickstand, bolted to them. So what a great find, $100, which is just fantastic. And I also got passenger pegs, matching passenger pegs. So that came with it, and matching grips. So we'll have grips, passenger pegs, matching forward controls, all for $100. That was a great swap meet find. So I'm going to get those mocked up and installed. I'm not going to permanently install them because we still got to paint the frame where I did all the modifications for the chopper neck and stuff. I've still got to mold all that. And I shouldn't say I'm going to take it to Hector. And he's going to do it. By the time I get into some of this, I'm going to play around with some pipe designs. I'm thinking this bike might look really cool with two high pipes, like shotgun pipes. I've got a set of takeoff kind of shotgun pipes from a Milwaukee 8 an ST Softail. I might cut those up and use the head pipes and then maybe make some cool drag pipes that are both high. I'm going to play around with that styling. And by then, hopefully the fuel injection, I've got all the fuel injection stuff ordered because we've got to cut in the bottom of this tank. I got to cut a fuel injection door in there and put fuel injection in there, or a fuel pump for the fuel injection. And then by then we should have our hardtail fender. We got one fender in, but it was the wrong width. So we have another fender coming. Hopefully it'll show up this week. Then I'm going to cut these horns off and we're going to make a hardtail style fender that mounts to the swing arm and moves with the swing arm. And we'll probably put some supporting struts, maybe some little tail lights. I got to come up with a side mount license, tail light and license holder. So plenty to do, but all super fun stuff. I also found next door, when I was digging around while we were farting around over the weekend, I found these killer old Z-bars. We used to make these for our Springer choppers, got back in the 2000s and stuff. So thinking I might try to find a set of risers and maybe put some Z-bars on this thing. Might look really cool. So coming along, I'm super excited that we got the tank mounted, that it's all done. I'm super excited that the front wheel spacing's finished and the caliper set up. I still got to find a headlight. So plenty to do, but we had a really good weekend. the chopper, and I'll be going at all that stuff I mentioned all week. We'll make another video for it for next week. And then hopefully all the EFI stuff will come in. That's the next thing we're going to do this Saturday, is get that EFI door in and maybe start messing around with the fender if we get that. Anyway, thanks for watching. Yaffe out. Talk soon.